Welcome back to the ARCA cast. I'm Casey Campbell. Of course, that's ARCA PR Director Charlie Crawl. Charlie, this week has been talked about for a very, 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 very long time. And it's finally, we're racing at Flat Rock Speedway.
Yeah, man, it's super cool, Casey. I am so excited to get this race, get to this race weekend so we can get these cars on the racetrack. It's been a long time coming. Um, when I was a kid going to the racetrack with my grandparents, these were the two weekends of the year that I really just felt like the whole eyes of the racing world were on Flat Rock Speedway. And of course, things are a little different when you're a kid, but man, those cars, they looked just like the Cup Series cars that you would see on the weekends, on television, and they sounded just like them. And they raced at Daytona and Talladega. Granted, the East Series doesn't race at Daytona and Talladega, but it does race at, Dover and Nashville and Five Flags and, the Milwaukee Mile and Bristol Motor Speedway. And, it's just so cool to be able to have these cars back at my little home track and in the home track of ARCA, to be quite frankly. This racetrack opened way back in 1953. It's been in the Markham Drager family for I couldn't even tell you how long, probably just as long. And it's just really great to be back, and it's going to be really emotional for a lot of us, when those engines crank up on Saturday night. I can't wait to get there.
How is Ron feeling about this? Because it's like here's the thing though. It's, John Markham, this was on the original schedule for the Automobile Racing Club of America, also known as ARCA. And now his grandson returns it to the track that he once had it. What's
right. So it was on the original schedule for the Midwest Association for Race Cars, known as MARC, back in the day, back in 1953. And of course, that, believe it or not, were twin 250 lap races held on September 11th, 1953, there at Flat Rock Speedway. Julian Petty won both of those races. And we've tried to do some research on the mysterious J.H. Petty. There was always, believe it or not, there was always a rumor, there was always some innuendo maybe that was Lee Petty racing under another name. But we've come to find out that Julian is a member of the Petty family. I believe he was like a cousin of Lee Petty or something like that from back in the day. But he was the winner of the first two races there at Flat Rock back in 1953. And, there's been 56 other races there over the years. The last one back in 2000, Frank Kimmel was the winner. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It really is. I think we're going to have, 15, 16 cars, maybe on the low side of what we were hoping for. But I'll tell you what, 16 cars at Flat Rock is going to be a great race.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly with the 8 or 10 cars that we have that'll be up there fighting, up at the front of the field. It's just going to be an intense show, and you won't want to miss it. You really won't. It'll be a good race.
Yeah. Well, before we get to previewing this weekend, let's talk about last week. How about that? Luke Fenhouse takes the win. For people that might not have watched or something, can you explain the last lap of the race and from the series perspective on that? Because I know that maybe some.
Right. So coming to the checkered to complete lap 200, Rita Goulet spun directly in front of the leader, which at the time was William Sawalich. So we put the caution flag out, as you would when there's a car stopped directly in front of the leader. And per our rule, we go into overtime. And our overtime rule is that if a white flag has been displayed, we will have a 1-lap dash. Rather than a green followed by white followed by checkered, we will do a green and white together followed by checkered the next lap. And that's what we did. So in the final 1-lap dash, Luke Fenhouse, who had already proven that he had been 2 to 3 tenths of a second quicker than William Sawalich was late in the race, Fenhouse got a better restart, and he went to the outside and made it stick and was able to pull out ahead down the backstretch and stole the win on the final lap. So, that's just part of the deal. I feel just horrible for Sawalich and Joe Gibbs Racing. You know, they dominated all night long, but
Yeah.
you know, that's why we run. That's why we run to the checkered flag, man. It's not over till it's over.
Yeah. Kind of so in just to explain for people that might not follow ARCA as much, it is different overtime rules than it is for NASCAR's top 3 series, because I believe it. Just how about you just explain what they are for people that might not know?
Yeah, our rules are just what I just said there, Casey. So we have unlimited attempts at a green, white, checkered overtime finish. A green followed by white, followed by checkered. If the white flag is displayed and then the caution flag comes out, we will do a green flag and a white flag together for a 1 lap overtime finish. And that's what we had there at Nashville. Yeah.
All right. Well, this weekend is 23 years in the making, and some pretty special people are going to be at that race, including one that's actually going to be in there.
Who, you?
No,
You're coming?
I thought about you.
Well, I'll be there regardless, Casey.
Well, you're going to be, of course, you'll be calling the race, which
Yeah.
will be 7:30 on Flow Racing. But Billy Venturini is going to be
Coming out of semi-retirement. It's going to be good to see Billy back behind the wheel. I was at one of the few races he ran back in 1994, in his rookie year. I remember when he had the "I am not my dad" sticker on the back of his car, just to kind of differentiate between Big Bill and Little Bill back then. It's going to be cool to see. You know, we're going to have you know, it's going to be a pretty tough day for Billy. You know, these kids, they're tough, man. They are tough. I mean, William Sawalich is no slouch on short tracks, and Sean Hingorani no slouch on short tracks, and you know, Luke Fenhaus is as good as anybody out there. And you know, I think Billy just wants to come and race at Flat Rock Speedway. It's where his dad got his first ever ARCA win. It's where the team got its first ever ARCA win. So it's a racetrack that means a lot to the Venturini family, and you know, we're really pleased Billy's going to come and do this. It certainly has pointed a little extra spotlight on this race, and happy to be the place where this has happened.
And the track announced something today that's gonna for all the race fans out there, they get to do something that's never been done at Flat Rock Speedway before.
Yeah, we're gonna have a autograph session in the pit area, which is kind of cool. So we'll let the fans come in and wander around the pits in a controlled manner, of course. Get autographs from all the East drivers, all the street stock drivers, all the figure 8 drivers, get pictures, selfies, autographs. Going to be a good time, man. I hope you get a chance to come and do it too, Casey.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Actually, I believe that is at 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. When that is, I think why don't you check? And of course, always updates will be on Toledo Speedway and Flat Rock Speedway, actually flatrockspeedway.com, and also follow Toledo Speedway on Twitter. I think that's where they're, you know, doing a lot of those updates are. But yeah, it was it's going to be a fun time at Flat Rock.
Gonna be a good time, buddy. Hope you're out there early.
I hope so. Well, yeah, that's
be good.
Yeah, it will be a fun one for sure. I've never been to Flat Rock Speedway, so
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
All right. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And enjoy the races at Flat Rock, and we'll see you next week when we talk about Charlotte for the main ARCA Menard Series season.